start from
Made
center.
it harder,
Now
didn't
your
it?
shoulders are off the ground. Your shoulders are off the ground, and there's your starting position. That's basically almost where you finished,
Okay.
right? So now slide up. Come on, seriously. There you go.
All right.
It helps if dangle a Twinkie. Like, come on. All right.
Snickers.
All right. So hold on. Now the lower leg lift, right? The leg lift, right? What are you doing?
I'm sitting to listen to you.
So in the physical therapy world, they would analyze core strength by doing this type of assessment, leg lift. Now what they wanted to do, so who, can you stand up above her? Okay, lie down. Now this would be done on a table, but you can't do it on this table because they're really flat, but they do it on their tables. But lay down, grab her ankles.
Put your arms up. Nope.
That's adorable.
Grab her ankle.
Are we gonna do a roll?
The other way it gets really weird.
Oh, I don't know. This thing too.
Okay, so bend your knees. All right.
I think I
Now,
just have playing cards with that on it.
what you do is you put your hands underneath the lumbar, okay? Now, push your lumbar into my hand, like flatten your back out. Now lift your legs straight up in the air. Straight up. All right, now I can't wiggle my fingers, right? Okay, now slowly bring your legs down to the ground. Stop. You've already lost core contraction. You see how you've already started the lumbar extend? She didn't even move an inch or two before she lost the ability. And the further her leg goes down, the more she hyperextends her back. So this ab exercise that people are doing, the leg lift type of thing, is actually responsible for more back pain because people, I don't even have any of my clients do it. The only clients that I've ever worked, I worked with a guy named Shannon. Like lift your leg. What are you doing? I'm trying to.
I'm bending my knees. Oh, that way. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that way. Scoot down a little bit more. Or you scoot back a little bit more. All right, now, what you're going to do is the objective is from here, you're going to take your knees without momentum, and you're going to pull them right up to my hand. Almost, but that's adorable. My hand's right here. It's not here. It's right here. Beautiful. And then slowly down. Slow.
Nice, Trisha.
Down,
That is not
down.
easy.
Down, and right there, do it again. Beautiful. And down.
Wow.
Nice.
Good. 18 more. You feel it? Down. Breathe. Did you feel it?
Uh-huh.
More lower?
Uh-huh. Yes,
that would
definitely.
be, that would, now, have you ever seen anybody do it that slow?
No.
No. Nobody does it that slow.
No, I love that one. That's great.
If I rotate to the left, what of the oblique muscles did it? Well, the right external oblique and the left internal oblique have rotated me to the left. In the opposite way, if I go to the right, it's the left external oblique and the right internal oblique have rotated me to the right. But if I crunch, whether you do the reverse pelvic tilt or the crunch, if you don't rotate to the left or to the right, it's because both external and internal obliques on both sides are contracting to provide flexion. You're doing obliques every time you do a crunch. This rotational twist stuff, this side twisting stuff, remember what I said, like,
Russian twist. That's what they call those.
here's your vertebrae, yeah? And you've got 3 coupled motions of the spine. This is all in the Journal of the Physical Therapy Journal of Medicine. They say never, ever, ever flex and rotate. Because what happens is right at the facets, as you flex and rotate, you get compression of the facet on one side and distraction of the facet on the other side. So a great example would be like every time you go out to your car right now, when you go to open up the car door, hang on to the end of it as you're opening up the car door, opening and closing it. What would happen to the hinges? Over time, the hinges...
Hang on to it?
Yeah.
No, well, not good.
Why? Because you know that the hinges over time would wear away or break or bend or something, and your door would be all messed up, right? Well, that's the same thing as this. When you flex and rotate, because you think you're side bending, you're not side bending, you're flexing and rotating. And then you've got compression on one side, distraction on the other. So it actually is one of the worst things to do. So if you if your goal was really obliques, you could just do the normal crunch, and that's it.
So what about planks?
Planks are fine, but the planks are more like probably like psoases and rectus femoris that are balancing you more so. And it depends on how you do it. You gotta measure ASIS to PSIS relationship to make sure they're holding themselves, and bring your hips down a little bit more, and keep your neck neutral. And now the pelvic tilt, because so you would need a little bit more of pelvic tilt. So I find the ASIS to the PSIS, and I would want her to pelvically tilt a little bit more that way. Now hold that position. How does that feel?
Fine.
Yeah, you're good. But I mean, it's fine. You're just training the abdomen. It's isometric contraction. You could do that in your car every time, even if you're at a red light. Just stop, pull it in, and brace. Now, hear the way I change my voice a little bit more. I'm holding it in what's called intra-abdominal pressure, because that is the TVA contracting. It's not just suck it in. It's pull it and then tighten it. And then you don't have to walk around like, I'm holding my breath. But you gotta learn to train it, because again, people can just walk around with distension. And those people, once you distend the ab, you hyperextend the low back. That's not your ab, because now you're doing hip extension, right?
Well, yeah, it's like your back, but
Glutes.
you're supposed to like tighten your abs.
Sure, but at that moment, you're probably lengthening the abs just slightly. I don't know, but you're not doing anything for the abs.
Well, you're supposed to like kind of be this way.
Well, okay, but that's like saying, like, if I bicep curl
Yeah.
and I tighten my ab, is it an ab workout? No, but my abs will support me. So again, it's like, really, what joint is moving? The hips. And their hips are moving in extension. And what do the abs do? Well, they just flex the spine. So yeah, I mean, like, you could brace it, but that's not an actual ab exercise. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wasn't born to squat, right? I can maybe look good for a certain, but
Mine needs one.
if I come down low, I can even push up a little bit with the hips first and then come up. And somebody would say, well, that's not how you squat. Well, that's not how you squat, right? And then some people are always like, you got to maintain that neutral spine. But there's a guy on Facebook, the Sports Physio. Boy, you don't like the way I talk. You should listen to this guy, because he'll drop those F-bombs like left and right. And he's the one where I showed that one chart where it said all those people have bulging and herniated discs. That came from him. He's like, everyone's got like all this stuff. He's not saying form isn't important. He's just like, people take way too much like critique. Like, oh, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it. Like, does it hurt? No. Then you're not doing it wrong. It's over time. Because we always said, you have grass, right? You have a house. What happens when you walk the same path every day? Well, that grass wears away, right? And you get a path. Well, what happens if every day you choose a little? Well, then you don't have a path. Well, the same thing with joints. Just change it slightly a little bit. Maybe the feet are a little bit wider. Maybe they're a little bit closer. They're never right here, and they're never like right here. But somewhere, just always change and, squat down. The closer my legs are together, the worse my squat gets. I can't bend up. Now, feet are flat, right? But if I go down all the way, my heels come up. That's not, oh, you've got to tighten something or another. No, that's foldability of joint. So your tibia relationship to femur length to torso length is totally different on everyone. That's why, who's the best squatters in the whole entire world? Babies. You ever see a baby squat? Holy crap, they're perfect. Because limb length hasn't fully developed yet. They're growing. So they just get down into a perfect squat. But every once in a while when I go into a store, I'll just see like somebody like just squatting down. And I know they're physically out of shape. And I just go, that is the best squat I've ever seen. They're like, what? And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, really? It's like foldability. Feet are flat on the ground. They're just looking at the lower. And me, I'm down as low as I can. And my heels are up. There's no way that I can go with my heels back or I'm going to fall backwards. Mm-hmm. So if I go a little bit wider, my squat can get a little bit lower, but I can't go ass to ground, how they say it. But yeah, just slow it down and use muscle, not momentum.
When you're doing like those abs, like how many reps or?
That's it. One set. Work it to failure, which should be 10 reps if you're lucky. And like I said, you got to go, whatever that speed you did, cut it because you're doing it too fast. It's still too fast. 10 seconds up, 10 seconds down. Try that, and then
Failure.
failure. Is I have them do the like a range of motion assessment type of thing. So put your feet straight. Don't cross them because that takes the energy.
The
chi, it's the chi.
Oh my gosh, I used to get yelled at school.
What?
Crossing my legs.
Oh.
I used to get yelled at for that.
No, it doesn't. All right. So I will just range of motion, like. So you kind of lost it again, right?
A little bit, but it's better still.
Okay, so I can get to the 45, right? And then I just guide her. I'm not like influencing it, just guide it. And does that feel like a little bit more?
Hurtful.
Yeah, and see how it's a little less?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know that, so she can't rotate to the left, so right side muscles that are opposite side rotators, and then left side muscles that are same side rotators. Even something like levator scapula is the same side rotator. Longest capitis is the same side rotator. SCM is an opposite side rotator. Scalenes are an opposite side rotator. Longissimus capitis, which is one of the posterior muscles we work on. So longissimus capitis and splenius capitis are opposite side rotators, and the other muscle we're going to work on posterior is the semispinalis, which is the same side rotator. So you have to go back to anatomy and remember things, because again, if you get the range of motion, that's all great, but you have to know which muscles are doing what. It's almost like now you're thinking opposite of what you were always taught. If you can't rotate this, what's tight, right? And it's like, no, it's not what's tight. It's what's not contracting efficiently to rotate the neck. And the other thing I would do is I bring them back to neutral, and I do this one where I just want you to lift your head up and look at your toes. And I hold the shoulders down because they start to lift up as high as you can go. And you feel any strain in your neck when you do that? Right, and you feel strain. Okay, and bring it down. So then the feedback is when I treat something and they lift their head up, what do they feel? It's a lot easier because they'll always feel something in the back of the neck, right? But think about it like a drawbridge in a castle. You know, if I have 2 ropes and I'm pulling up that drawbridge, that's fine. What if I had 8 ropes, 4 on each side? Well, that's a lot easier to pull up, yeah? So same thing with the neck, like these anterior muscles want to contract better. And when you're lifting up and it's not, you feel the strain in the back of the neck because something is trying to give you more, you know, help out. Even a posterior muscle will do something. And then you just test it. But the SEM is 45 degrees, chin up, and then this muscle I guide, lift your head straight up, and I want her head up. So this muscle's engaged and the axis is anterior, and I'm pushing down, straight down, and hold it up, and you're gonna go up. Ready? Resist.
Wait, I'm gonna go up.
Yep, and resist.
Whoa.
Turn. So see how she started to come out of rotation? And resist. And it's weak, okay? And then SCM is literally, you know, doesn't matter which palpation you palpate first. Mastoid.
I hope that fixes my tinnitus. Tinnitus, whichever you call it. Because I'm feeling that under my ear when we do that.
I'm making it worse.
No, don't make it worse. Oh, I put earrings in, sorry.
Are they real diamonds?
Do you want me to say yes?
Good night, everybody. Then the manubrium and the clavicle. You do. All right, so rotate, chin up, and then lift your head straight up, and hold it, and resist. Good. Now relax, and then rotate.
Better.
Now, just out of curiosity, and I go back to it each time though. Lift your head up and look at your toes. Is that easier?
Yep.
Not done now, but I mean there was. Well, let's do the SEM one muscle at a time. And go. Go back to your house and you get that trail guide out.
I think that's
So easy. Like,
my
it's so
trail
good.
guide is in the fucking storage. I
We're
can't.
probably just online, like trail guide is online.
I've got like the 5-minute muscles in it. Shows me how to the palpation.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but again, it's palpating the muscle,
right.
not the origin insertion.
I was
Okay.
just trying to get to this part.
So I got that, yeah? Okay, then if you have problems, just slightly lift your neck up. You can see it pop up, relax, and then you follow the tendon right to the jugular notch,
The jugular notch is,
right on the manubrium.
so it's like right here.
Yeah, so I don't know if I have a picture.
You have
No. Maybe one. Damn it. You know what? I'm going home. I just don't know. Here's your manubrium, and the jugular notch is between the two
so
clavicles.
it's like right here.
So I can, the jugular notch, I'll do it on you. And then here, but. So here's your two clavicles, and right between it, that little notch, that's your jugular notch.
Okay.
Hold it right there. Ready? Resist. And I always keep my hand here just in case, so, but I'm not technically at the time of testing, chin up a little bit more, and resist. Good. Now, the middle scalene, which I'm not sure if I actually have it on here, but for those recording and move out of the way.
Oh, we could see it on.
Up is, and then pushing straight down is anterior. Staying right here, if I go ear to ear and I laterally side bend, it's middle scalene. Ready? Resist. Beautiful. And if I side bend her neck, and then I go to straighten the neck out in that same angle, that's posterior scalene. Ready? Resist. And that's good. So scalenes are fine on this side. If they are weak, right? And remember, the scalenes are anterior is 3 to 6 articular process to the first rib. The middle scalene is 2 to 7 articular process, more transverse on the lateral side, 2 to 7 down to the first rib also. The posterior scalene is 4 to 7 on the posterior side of the articular process and attaches to the second rib. So the anterior middle scalene, first rib, just underneath the SCM. So if she were to just slightly lift your head up, beautiful, bring it down. So I find the SCM, I go underneath it, underneath the clavicle, and the first rib is right there. If I get the middle scalene, I just follow the trap out and I push down, and that's the second rib right there. If you want to know if you're on it, just have them take a deep breath, and it's a respiratory muscle. So you feel the rib kind of rise up, and then that's it. And you can get the insertion. Yeah, well, origin. The insertion is in the neck. And then other side, stop. Good. Yeah, no, lift your head straight up. Not your body. Not your body. Stop. Lift your head. There you go. And I'm going to push straight down. Ready? Resist. Beautiful. Rotate 20, chin up, and straight down. Resist. Beautiful.
Oh, so we did 10 in previously, and now
10
we do.
was longest capitis.
Yeah, and now we do the 20.
20 is scalene.
Okay.
For which one?
The scalene. So so if this is the SCM, we want, you know how we move the this thing, what was that called again?
Trachea.
That thing out of the way. We move the SCM out of the way.
Okay.
And I'm getting the bone. So where's my cervical? Can I see that cervical? Thank you. So really it's just like this, and I'm going up and right here, right here, right here, right here.
Okay.
Yep. You know this is fun.